Brother Leroy thought about co-hosting the show. But then he backed out at the last minute. So here I am in the studio with all of you. My. Over the next hour and then some, let's see what you got. It was fast and it was smooth. The 104th Kentucky Derby. What? California Chrome. Sound like something I want to be able to order. Give me one of them. I want one of them. You know how you are. What? Yo, let me get California Chrome. I love horse racing. I love horses. They are at the top of the list of my favorite animals. Just like I love boxing. As I was talking to Rick, one of the other Whcr producers, about last night's fight in Vegas, where Rick was sharing his thoughts, his feelings, and his love for Mayweather and the fact that he got hit a couple times. And I tell you what I told Rick. I'm glad that he didn't just run around the ring. I'm glad he took his daddy's advice and stood somewhere close enough where Marcos Maidana can land 221 punches out of the 858 he threw, and an X amount of those was power punches, like 185 out of 540 power punches, and then a small percentage of jabs. Everything was a small percentage, but the fact that Floyd got hit, that's new, right? Think so? Because I'm just tired of the fans getting robbed. You see, the first round of the NBA playoffs, that's how we like it. We like it like that. As we say in Baltimore. We like it like that. I'm in a good mood. What can I tell you? We like it like that. That's how we want. Do the doggone thing. Because anytime I'm rooting for Atlanta to beat Indiana, something wrong, right? I've been a Pacer fan on the down low for a minute. But for most of you who have heard me, I've been talking about it for a while. So it's not really on the down low. It's I've been trying to be as discreet as possible living here in the NYC. And then all of a sudden, there was this feeling of disappointment that they didn't really want it after all. So if you don't want it, let somebody else have it. Back up, back off. You know what I mean? Let somebody else have an opportunity. Give somebody else a chance, won't you please? And the meanwhile, round one of the playoffs were just good. Everybody on the verge of being upset. Not like you might have been thinking if you were watching Floyd's fight last night. Nah, not that. I'm talking about like really on the verge of being upset. And I think the that I'm talking about is, he got hit. Yeah, this dude is wilding out on him. Yeah, for real. Dude might actually think he got a chance after all, because I do want to agree with what Floyd said in this article I'm hoping to call up on nation.com, where he said, he couldn't sleep on his opponent. He's a puncher or whatever else Floyd said about him. He said, but he can't match me mentally. I definitely agree 100% on that. So back to round one of the NBA playoffs. I was rooting for just about every underdog that managed to push their series to 7 games. Well, we know Brooklyn's not an underdog. Let me click the page. Come on, microphone, come with me. Let me click the page. How we doing? Okay. Let me refresh so I can give you a Toronto Brooklyn update. Because see, the better series is Brooklyn Miami. Really. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, they know how to play. Put it this way, they got their number as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to Miami, it doesn't mean that if they win today, that they'll win the next round. I just think a better matchup for fans, which is part of the problem I was telling Rick that I have about boxing nowadays, in particular, when cats who get into the ring with no intention. Let me leave that one alone. All right, cool. Anyway, it's a better matchup for the fans. Miami, Brooklyn. Toronto can't do nothing with no Miami. Come on already. I mean, it would be great for Dwayne Casey, who Toronto's head coach, who took the subway to work because he got stuck in traffic or something like that. That's a cute little, side story. But Brooklyn, Miami's a much better matchup, just mentally speaking. Let me stick with the whole mental thing right now for a quick minute. Mentally speaking, Brooklyn, Miami is a better matchup. I love the youngins out there doing what they do. They like horses, they run. And then maturity settles in because they got the talent. Ain't no coming into the NBA and getting to this level and you don't have the talent. They have the talent. They got the heart. I'm gonna give them that. Maturity, experience. Mentally, you might not quite be there just yet. We know Darren Williams is after that defining moment. Oh, what a defining moment. Hang with me. I'm going to bounce around, as you can see, for a minute. That defining moment, the top of the third quarter, Game 6, Friday night in Brooklyn, where Jason Kidd waved him off, pushed him back out on the court to walk off the pain that he felt as a result of rolling his ankle in the previous play. J. Kidd spoke volumes with that one action, and the fact that Darren did it, not like he had a choice, right? And then stood up most of the remainder of that quarter during the timeouts to keep, I guess the stiffness away or whatever, was another defining moment for him, and at least in my mind, because I've had other thoughts, wondering, I don't know if he's really as good as they say. He manned up. That's called manning up, y'all. You saw it live right before your eyes if you were watching that game. If you were watching that game, right? This right here should be Darren Williams' new theme song, Man Up. If you know this, if you know anything about this song and the cast that made the song and what this song can make people do when it come on, the way they respond, this is Darren Williams' new theme song, at least for the remainder of the day. And of course, if they win, then, you know, we can stretch it out into the next round. He manned up. Gotta give him credit. So, Toronto, you know, the youngins. Oh, that next series, speaking of young players, that Washington, Indiana series, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. They got the legs, they got the heart, got the talent. But if you ain't got it mentally, if you don't have the level of experience, and what have I been hearing them say all weekend? The basketball gods. If the basketball gods aren't smiling on you in addition to all of that, meaning if you don't get a little luck here, a little luck there, you're going home. So I love them young horses. I love to see them run. Love it. Like I said, man, the 104th Kentucky Derby was fast and smooth. It was almost like, I was like, where's the drama? Is it in the hat? You know, all them hats that they show you, and like the 15 different stories they do leading up to the actual race. The broadcast comes on at 4. The horses don't come out of the gate until 6:32. In between there, all you seeing is hats. I hope there's a bird alive somewhere today. All them feathers. Feathers everywhere. A horse ain't got near feather on his body. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's hope we still got some birds alive somewhere today. Somewhere today. There better be a bird flying his coop. Anyway. And then, hang with me, they showed the replay, right? And when they show that replay, for real, unless something really, really stands out, like I said, it was fast, it was smooth. So I'm like, wow, was this too simple? Was, you know, what? I mean, a little something here. But when they showed the replay of them horses running, wow, there it was. There was the thing that got me up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. You can never underestimate the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, Belmont, which are, you know, they're all, that's, they make up what they call the Triple Crown. Those are the 3 biggest races in, you know, in the industry itself. Right? And the 3 big boys of the game. So you can never underestimate in any race. Just like I say, you can never underestimate anybody, or excuse me, I always have respect for anybody that goes into a ring to get hit. At the end of the day, no matter how I feel about whether or not they might be living up to their potential, I'm not going to climb in the ring and fight none of y'all. I ain't climbing in the ring to fight nobody. Right? So you always, as I said before, first and foremost, you give a boxer respect just for that. Right? Okay. So you can't underestimate what's happening on that track and how fast that horse's heart is beating, as well as the jockey. And then how you got to manage that speed out there and the traffic on the track. But then you got this thing that does what it does, man. And who's, like mentally, who takes over at what point? The horse or the jockey? In a win-win situation, I guess they both are collaborating, right? Mentally speaking. Oh, don't underestimate no animal. You know what I mean? And during the replay, I started to appreciate the race a little more. Some of them are just dramatic right off the bat, without a doubt. You see somebody coming out outside of the crowd, coming wide, coming down the stretch, bow, coming from behind, bow. That's the drama. There we go. Nobody better not call me right now or say nothing. Right? That's what you're saying when you're home watching the race. You better not. Well, my mother said, you better not open your mouth. I love you, Ma. Mother's Day is next weekend. Happy Mother's Day in advance. But anyway, so you didn't see that yesterday. My girl Rose, Napravanik, the only woman in the race. I believe she was the only woman in the race. She got caught up inside, close to the rail. Not a great position. And then she fell behind. It was just way too much traffic and way too much speed. And the sheer will of the moment of the horses and their jockeys. So here they go. Bam, bam. I'm watching the replay. I'm going, oh, wow. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, there's also a certain amount of respect. You got to pay your fellow man. So you ain't just run over nobody or do nothing to hurt anybody on the track. You got to wait for your opportunity. But you got to keep riding. Right? You got to wait for your opportunity. You and the horse, both of y'all, waiting for that moment, strategizing. This is the moment. You've been down this road before. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting. It may come and it may not. May not happen in this race. It may be the next race. Maybe the Preakness. Because it's very seldom that the same horse will win all three races, but it's a big to do when he does. So they just riding. Everybody playing that mental game, because your horse, you know what your horse can do. You know what he's capable of, and they waiting for that moment to let it out. Straight up, waiting for that moment to make the move. Right? That'll put you in the right position. So you just ride. You got to see one of these races in person. And then there she, or he, excuse me guys. There he went. California Chrome. What? Somebody tried to challenge him at the last minute. He said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me separate myself. I ain't got that much further to go. So he put a little more distance between him and whoever it was that was trying to be wicked about it. There was a horse called Wicked Strong, right? But California Chrome wasn't having none of that. His jockey took that one last turn back. Said, okay, we got this. And see, there's a language I'm quite sure they speak. It's all about, well, you already know it. When you don't really want nobody to know what you're saying, but you want them to know what you're thinking and how you feel. It's called body language. That horse knows, and so does that jockey. They communicate extremely well, I'm quite sure, without ever saying a word. So I said, wait a minute. I'm always in the New York state of mind, right? But it's California Chrome as far as I'm concerned. So I had to had to find me a song. I am going to open up the lines and take your calls, I promise. Because as we know, the Donald Sterling story is so far from being over. Most recently, other than the press conference the other day where they announced, I will read the recap. I also have the transcript in my email. They sent us copies of the transcripts, the people that actually attended the press conference. But they also gave us a recap, one-page recap of what was said. And I'm going to remind you all. And Commissioner Adam Silver's opening remarks. We know, let me get a score for you real quick, that Brooklyn is in Toronto right now, and they are managing to keep enough distance between them and the Raptors. If what I'm reading is as updated as the moment itself, then my live score tells me that Brooklyn's up by, what is this, 8? 97, 89, with 4:53 left in the fourth quarter. We did put in a credential request. Hey, what? I ain't underestimating nobody, because see, this is the flip side of the coin. If Brooklyn loses to Toronto, then the Pierce Garnett trade is a failure. And then poor Darren Williams, after he manned up the way he did, and that one moment, because all it takes is one moment sometimes to change your life, to change things, right? One moment makes a statement that you may have been spending a lifetime trying to make. Darren Williams would have been, you know what he would have been. Because they said it in one of the stories I read, right? Game 1. I'm, checking out all of what everybody got to say, or enough of what everybody has to say. And one of the papers, I think it was a Toronto paper, and I'm serious, I think it was. They said that the Nets are still waiting for the Darren Williams who was in Utah to show up. That he's not the same guy anymore. And that may be true. I think there is some truth to that. But it's about what guy he needs to be right now. Forget about the past. One thing athletes know is you better have a short memory. You've got to be able to let it go. Because the next moment is upon you so quick. Right? Okay, we know that. And you don't want to do anything to defeat yourself. That's unnecessary. Your job is already hard enough. So, what guy shows up today is all we care about. That's all that matters. Is it enough to win Game 7 and go to Miami? That's all we care about. I think the first game of that series is Tuesday. And if Brooklyn does hold them off, then they'll be back in New York on Saturday. I am picking Washington over Indiana. Indiana has got to play their way back into my heart. And I still love them. But I'm talking about as far as me picking them. They just got to. Oh, they got past Atlanta. Okay. All right. But Atlanta and Chicago are two different teams. You know that, and I know that. Seriously. The Clippers and the Warriors, I told you that was going to be a good one. I didn't know we would have a history-making moment take place right in the middle of it. But told you that was going to be a good one. I don't know, to be honest, that I want the Warriors to get past OKC. I really want the Donald Sterling case to follow its proper course. And until it's really clear, and that moment comes where he's no longer the owner and none of the proceeds from any of this is going to him, I'd rather, see somebody else win at this point. I love Doc. I love Chris Paul. This ain't got nothing to do with the parties involved when it comes to the players and the coach. And I know, and I've heard it said over and over again, how many years they've been dreaming of this moment. So if they pull it off, they pull it off. But I just rather they just, in my mind, I still see Donald Sterling benefiting from them winning. Because he still is the owner. I mean, he hasn't been ousted yet. And so the NBA will be appointing a CEO to run the team in the meanwhile. And, more to be revealed. I'm coming back to it. But I told you that Pacer Clipper series was going to be a good one. It was good enough, even if it was just the drama of it all. I'm not talking about the Sterling drama. I'm talking about the drama between the teams, like the so-called drama that took place after Game 7 in the hallway, and some yelling and shouting and holding back of people had to take place. Let me at him, let me at him, let me at him, let me at him. No, you gotta take a short flight over to Vegas and get you a ticket for Mayweather and Madonna for that. Nah, right now, right here, right now. Okay, I might as well do it. I gotta do it. It's 3:30. Let me just remind you, you are listening to WHCR 90.3 FM New York, the voice of Harlem. You know by now who I am. It's your girl Steph. And I am no other place that I'd rather be than right here with you from 3 p.m. to 4:30 every Sunday afternoon, except for Mother's Day. In any case, Charlotte, I tip my hat to you. You made it to the postseason. Miami basically should have just had a broom a broom and a holster on the side of their uniform. Right? They've been resting so long. I think Dwayne Wade in pain right now just from not moving. Wade had to rest up so he could play from all the pain that he's feeling as a result of his knees or whatever. And they showed a picture of him on some NBA show I was watching last night. I think it was where they were just talking about fashion, you know. And they had Monica on there talking with the girl that hosts the show, NBA Inside Stuff or something like that Grant Hill does. She's his co-host. So, you know, Wade shows up. He got his Men in Black look on. He's about business. What? Are you crazy? But he's been resting so long, I'm thinking he might just be in pain right now. So that might work to our advantage if it's you know, Brooklyn net. Then you have to play next. And so, yeah. Now, back to the West. Portland, I congratulate you. Yeah. That commercial, Damian Lillard, I think that's his name. Damian Lillard. Something like that. Does where he says he doesn't want to be one of those Hall of Famers that's never won anything, basically. And he's got 3 generations of guys in the room with him, including him. He makes the 3rd. Right? And they all give him that look like, what? You cut off now. No more. Got no rap for you. Right? Well, Damian, I'm hoping that you get to play the Mavs. Love the Spurs. I just think them youngins woo, are much more exciting at this point in this particular matchup. Okay, the Mavs are not completely as old as the Spurs. No one is as classy an act as the San Antonio Spurs, or as intimidating in a post-game press conference as the San Antonio Spurs. We know that. But you know what it is? They don't really BS around. They're not for all the BS. That's really their style. They don't do the dog and pony show. And you gotta love them for that. But it makes for great humor. If you've ever been in a post-game press conference, you know, you can hear a pin drop in that room and then somebody stutters. They stutter up their question. You know, like you belch. They stutter it up. Or you burp. Or burp a baby. All right, let me keep going. All right, I'm sorry. Anyway, I just think I want to see Monty Ellis. I do. I want to see the revival of Vince Carter continue. And Dirt. Yeah, why not? You know, against them cats out there in Portland. Damian and his folks. And it just makes for good basketball. Oh my God. It goes back to my conversation I had with Rick earlier about the quality of what you give the fans. I know boxers, when they're on their way out, even throughout their career, they have to be smart. I get that. You want to be able to talk when this is over. You want to be able to walk when this is over. Right? You want to be able to enjoy your life, enjoy the money. You don't want to be broke. Right? I get all that. But it's still, as long as you show up, it's still important to me that you give a certain quality performance to those folks that's sitting out there. They all amped up. They spent money to get there. They spent money to eat. They spent money to drink. They spent money on the clothes they wearing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to pay their cell phones. Cell phone bill got to be paid so you can talk to all your friends. I'm at the fight. Texting back and forth, right? Them tickets ain't cheap. On and on and on, right? You know, one of the most exciting things to watch is a live fight, a championship fight. But not lately in the boxing game. Maybe Sergio Martinez and Cotto might make it pop at the Garden June 7th. might, I don't know, maybe. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm going to be up in the Bronx listening to a good sermon from Joel Osteen, who's going to be at the Yankee Stadium that night. I still like to hear a good word. I don't care what nobody says. I might not be in church on Sunday, but I want to hear a good word. Still love that. That's the kid in me. Grew up listening to a good word. So I'm saying, Anyway, I want to see Dallas beat, just for the sake of a great matchup and quality. Everything is high quality at this level, but it's even better when you have what we call a real good matchup, right? And it usually involves an underdog or 2 or 3. The whole first round was all about the people that weren't supposed to winning, or to some extent it was. The Mavs and the Spurs are in action at 3:30 after. Let me give you an update. Brooklyn boards their plane. I better be cool. Hold on. Wait, I don't see no score. Give me a score. Buzzer beaters. Let me see. Live. I know it's live, but give me a score. Okay, I'm waiting. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's a tight one. Woo-wee. Isn't that a tight one? 99-101 with 25 seconds left. I got a cool. Okay, let me tone it down a little bit about Miami. So the basketball. I don't want to upset the basketball gods. I dare not do that. After leading the game all this time, but see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can have the lead the whole time, and then that liver shot or that shot to the chin, or that buzzer beater, or that horse that makes his way on the outside of the crowd, right? And charges down the track just when you had counted him out. What? Hope so. Let's hope so. Let's hope Brooklyn can hold on to this. Hope so. Now I'm going to take your call right now, because I want somebody that's watching the game to call us up and give us a live report. 212-650-6903. As always, this conversation is just as much a part of yours as it is ours. If you're not calling me to give me a live report on the last 25 seconds or less of the game, please be brief so I can let somebody else talk who will be able to give me a report. Oh, okay. Call me back. I got a sense of humor, y'all. Y'all know that, right? What else is up? The Yankees are in action. They're trying to take this, give you a quick update. Trying to take the series in the Bronx against Tampa Bay, who also has their number and knows how to play them. Sometimes it's just that case. That's just the case. And we were saying this a couple of playoffs ago up at Yankee Stadium. They were playing Tampa Bay, and I think they got knocked out by them. And they said it's something about Tampa Bay. They have their number. But in any case, it's a 1-1 series right now. And the Yankees are, or it may be over. I need to check. Unless you can call me. And the Mets, there's a letter that I came across. Maybe it was something you saw as well as a fan. I believe it's something you saw, because it's a letter to the fans to get behind the team by a former Met. And I can't think of his name, but I can see his face. He's a broadcaster now. And I thought, wow. But they turned it into some sort of promotional thing where they made it interactive, where you get behind the team and something. It's got to be something in it for the fans, right? Get behind the team, and you can get something out of it, or this is what you'll get for participating by writing a letter and sharing your thoughts and feelings, or something to the effect. Hernandez. No. Okay, but I can't remember the former Met who turned broadcaster that this letter is from. So the Mets are in action about 4 o'clock or so out in Colorado. This is a 4-game series, and they have not won one, from what I understand. Of course, can't forget about the New York Rangers. They're in the playoffs as well. I think it is maybe it's, let me see, 1-0. The Rangers are playing the Philadelphia Flyers, and so that series just began. And so far, the Rangers have won 1, but they need what? How many games do you need to win in hockey? I gotta think about that. I don't cover a lot of hockey. But if you know, you can call me and let me know. Here we go. Wait. As soon as I turned around, the lights stopped blinking. Hold on. Call me again, 212-650-6903. Yes, the Oscar Pistorius murder trial will resume tomorrow after being on holiday. Seriously, for 2 weeks. They shut it down for Easter. Yeah, over in South Africa. They I guess it's just as big a holiday for them as it is us. Although we give you a weekend, an extra day, Good Friday, something like that. But in any case, that trial will resume tomorrow. Mark Jackson. I'm just going down my other list where I call it people, places, and things. I'm going to take your call, I promise. Come on. I'm going to watch for the light for sure this time before I get into some of this Donald Sterling the transcripts and some of the stuff they gave us after the press conference. Just to remind you of what was said. Okay, here we go. I don't know if Mark Jackson is going back to the pulpit or not. He's also a preacher. He has a church in California. I don't know if Golden State will renew his contract or if the Lakers are thinking about bringing him on board. But the Lakers are looking to make a splash. That's why you have these Kevin Ollie rumors flying around about them considering him. And UConn, come on, it's sports. You're not going to up me. Nah, none of that. So UConn is renegotiating his contract, and they want to pay him double what they gave him in the contract they just recently gave him. After winning the national title, NCAA national title. So I'm like, go Kev. I'm a Kevin Ollie fan. The new Knicks head coach. See, there's still some other things taking place. There's other news, right? Besides what I've told you so far. Steve Kerr. I don't know. The verdict is not in as far as I'm concerned yet. When I think of Steve Kerr, I just don't think of him as somebody that today's players would respect. The young folk. But when you're a professional, if you're working with a guy who you think can get it done, then that's all that matters. If you're working with a guy you doubt, there's a possibility of you showing how you feel about that as well. And of course, he's got Phil Jackson in his corner if he is to be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. And I was talking to my god brother, who is friends with Melo, and he coached him when he was younger, I believe in AAU or whatever, down in Baltimore. And they remained friends, and I just asked him what he thought. I didn't ask him what Melo told him. I said, what do you think? He said he thinks, because he's not going to tell me what Melo told him. I don't even know if he's spoken to Melo recently. In any case, but they are, they do stay in touch. But it's not like I'm gonna call you tonight kind of thing. In any case, he said Melo loves New York and he wants to be here. That's his feeling about it. But he's also a college basketball coach himself. Used to be an assistant coach at Manhattan College, and he's now at Morgan State University. He said, but he also wants to win a championship, and he's not going to win a championship in New York immediately. Not anytime soon. It's going to be what? Possibly you 3 years away from it, because in his as far as he's concerned, the organization and the overhaul of the organization is going to take a while. He said when you look at these championship teams, they have great organizations. It's not just the guys on the court, but the organization itself. And so Phil Jackson's got, realistically, I think in the conversation, what I picked up was that you got about 5 good years with Phil, something like that. Given his health, we don't know what toll being in New York is going to take on him. He's not a young boy anymore, but he's a great basketball mind. And it's just a matter of whether or not he can actually get it done in New York, right? Right. And that is the $64 million question. Mariano Rivera and the late, great John Isaacs have something in common. River Avenue, right there. I'm not sure what side of the stadium it's on, up in the Bronx. The other day was changed to Rivera Avenue, as in Mariano Rivera. They named it after him. And we know that John Isaac's way, because it was his way, is the street that now sits right there, I think in front of or alongside of the Boys Club and the Bronx. I think it used to be Hope Avenue or something like that. But here we go. I got 2 callers. Caller number 1, you are.
And that would be me.
You are?
I am Jay Smiley.
Hey, Jay Smiley. Caller number 2.
I want to give you the right to end your statement. River Avenue is now on the opposite side of Yankee Stadium. It's now more away from River Avenue than where it originally was.
Okay.
It's on the opposite side of the street. And the opposite side of the street runs into the viaduct, as it were, to the 155th Street Bridge. McCoon's Bridge Road would be, I think, the actual address, but there's a split there. There's a yield there, and McCoon's Bridge Road is on the far side of that. So it might still be the very end of River Avenue on its backside or on its rear side, but not on the face where you go into Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
That's like a split.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll call that 161st Street on the split. Anyway, Steph, I'm very excited that you brought up the fight. I don't want to talk about it. The
Absolutely.
main issue. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. the main issue that you're profoundly, I wouldn't say regretting. I thought that it was evenly matched between Indiana. You know, the Pacers have a long history, just like the Heat, and other teams that have a history. But straight to the Knicks. I don't want Jay to weigh in first. The Knicks. I went on the public access pages, and I made my announcement, or my pronouncement, that yes, the Knicks need a reorganization, and only the coach and the general manager have that decision. Oh, you're insane! They're not going to get rid. They're going to get rid of everybody that they can, because now New York finally has an opportunity to prove that we want to win. In years going by, you can blame Dolan all you want. As your last statement indicated, the front office, or that structure, has to be in place. Forget about how many good players you bring, and shuffle around. It is meaningless without a structure. And I'll leave it alone because I want Jay to weigh in. And as much as people and whatever their feelings might be about the fight, my consensus and factual information says, and we're talking about 50 years of factual information, says that you have to beat the champion decisively. Don't tell me how many punches he hit him with. I'm not interested in that. Did he beat him decisively? So stop playing games with your mind. He won the fight, and that's the end of that. Get over it. All right? And for that purse, I'm so sad. Still, I'm so sad. Wow, and money just to win a fight. Boy, he's got the game down pat, and I'm out.
Brooklyn won. It's Miami next, y'all. All right, Brother y'all. Smiley.
All right, hey, that's what's up. Hey, I want to see that matchup also. But I don't believe it's as you state, Steph. I believe that Miami has history. Brooklyn, they're coming on strong, but they're like the little boy in the park that wants to win. Miami knows how to win, so we'll see how it pans out.
You got it.
All right, peace and love.
Peace. You know what's funny? Hey, no. Let me be fair. Hi, caller number 2. Thank you for your patience. You are?
Hello, Queen Steph. This is your long lost admirer.
Who are you? I'm sorry, I can't catch the voice.
Hi, this is Barry from Harlem.
Hi, Barry from Harlem.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, good. I got 5 minutes. I'm at the movie set shooting a movie, but I wanted to call in and let you know 2 things. One, Indiana, if they don't get they head mentally in the game, they lost the game already.
Okay.
Number 2, the fight was good, and I just wanted to call and say, I had to call you because I haven't talked to you in a long time. It's taken me a minute to get to you.
Oh, you're keeping me in mind. I appreciate that. In the midst of everything that you're doing. Appreciate that. Brooklyn won, by the way. So it's Miami next.
Yay! Good. New York is in the house.
All right, Barry. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm picking, as I've said before, everybody heard me already. I think Washington, they're gonna beat Indiana.
Well, as I said, if their head is not mental in the game, they already lost the game anyway.
All right.
And that goes with all sports, any sports. If you're not mentally in the game, you're not gonna win.
Let me ask you real quick. I know you're on a 10 seconds or less. Why'd you say the fight was good last night?
Well, because 2 things. One, my man was prepared. 2,
Floyd. Okay.
Floyd was prepared. 2, there's no one that has the skill level right now that Mayweather has, and he lives that. He breathes that, and he prepares elitely for any fight. So with those things in mind, and the skill level is supreme because he's proven that on time and time again. That is it.
You got it. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Peace.
Got to run.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Ooh, give me a call. My phone acting up. Okay, hold on. What we got here? 212-650-6903. As always, this conversation is just as much a part of yours as it is mine. You know what I mean? You feeling that? I promise to take the call. I'm trying to clear the lines. I think I got think I'm good. Let's see. Hold on. Anyway, give a girl a call. I promise I'll take the call. I'm approaching the 4 o'clock hour. And let me just, here we go. I was going to tease this Donald Sterling press release they gave us before, after the press conference on, what day was it? Wednesday. Hi, welcome to WHCR. You are?
News conference. I'm glad that they used the form of affirmative action and allowed the black, beautiful female ask a question. Pretty decent question, but I enjoyed it. I love that black hat too.
Thank you,
what's
Jay.
that a tab?
Oh, it's a hat that looks like a tab. What's going on?
Starting off.
First and foremost, everybody knows Jay. I had the volume down. I didn't realize it when I first took the call and he said who he is, but you know it's Jay by now. Go ahead, Jay.
Yes. To the elder Smiley, what was the question that he wanted me to weigh in on?
I can't remember. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the fight or the Knicks.
Oh, forget about the Knicks. That's a waste of conversation. As far as the fight goes, let me say this: Floyd Mayweather had to fight for the first time in many, many years. You know what I mean? So I think he won the fight. I'm not going to say that he didn't win the fight because he did win the fight. But he had to fight, and that's a good thing because the rest of the card was absolutely garbage. Broner didn't look good. Khan never looks good because he's a fraud, and Love is just a what you call him fighter. So
why is Louis Collazo still fighting? Hold your breath. 1 second. Hold one second, Jay. I got to do a station announcement. I mean, 1 second. But that's a good question. Why is Louis Collazo still fighting? This is WHCR 90.3 FM, New York, the voice of Harlem. I've asked Jay, one of our regular callers, who has given us his 2 cents and maybe 3 cents about last night's fight in Vegas and the main card that consisted of Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Medina, as well as those that were on the undercard, like Louis Collazo and Amir Khan and whomever else was there. So let me ask again. Or you're giving us your take, I should say. No, let me ask again. Why is Louis Collazo still fighting? You said Mayweather fought for the first time in a long time, and you didn't feel like Amir Khan was anything impressive. So why is Louis Collazo still fighting? He's been around for a long time.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you why.
Okay.
I could not tell you why. To be perfectly honest.
Because when you're watching a cat like Collazo, it's different from watching Hopkins in the ring. So I want everybody to be clear what I mean. Because Hopkins is 50 and still fighting, obviously, but he's mentally, he's one of the best at what he does, as well as Floyd is mentally, as well as physically, and so forth and so on. And they're smart, and you're not going to hit him. And you know the story with the two of them by now. But Collazo is not at that level. He's not that type of fighter. But I do know when people call and say, hey, you want to make a few dollars, sometimes you got cats that say, sure, why not? So,
right.
Anyway, go ahead, Jay.
But the thing is, Floyd had to fight for the first time in a very long time. And it's a beautiful thing when you see supposed top-notch fighter have to apply his craft. And I think he won the fight. Did he win it by a very big margin? No, I don't think he did. But it was it worth the money? I don't think so.
Oh God, call back, Jay. The phones. Jay?
Hello?
Okay, Jay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but also this is something that I wonder if Sinkay is out there listening, that maybe he could call in and weigh in on. This clown, individual radio sports show host who has absolutely not an ounce worth of talent, that is nothing more than a Neanderthal knuckle dragger who has been able to get the position that he has because of white privilege. Chris Mad Dog, now who in their right mind would take a name as Mad Dog Russo, had the nerve to say that there is no African American talent out there to host a nationally syndicated sports show. You know, I mean, at some point in time, man, people are going to really have to address these issues with the knuckle draggers. Because that knuckle dragger there, boy, for him to make that type of statement, I think it's not only an embarrassment, but it's also disrespectful to the players that participate in sports and journalists who are involved in sports in any type of medium. Because that boy there, he don't know nothing about sports. And if it wasn't for his skin color, he would not be in the position that he is in, because the man sounds horrid on the radio.
All I want people to know is that the draft starts on Thursday. You see where I'm going with this, right? I'm not even willing to give that one the time of day. No, I'm making fun. I'm making fun. I'm making
as a journalist to weigh in on this.
I'm making fun. That's my weighing in on it. Come on.
Okay. Because it's unfair, because I know you have the ability to hold a national radio talk show. I know Sinkay has the ability, and I know there's many others that also have the ability to do it. And for this knuckle dragger to make that type of statement and to get away with it, and to on top of that be arrogant about it, is just absolutely amazing. I mean, that's the thing that got me. But here it is. We want to attack Donald Feeble-Minded Sterling. You know what I mean? I mean, it just goes to show, like I say, the baby and the infants that we allow Neanderthal knuckle draggers to get away with these type of things. I'm really upset about it.
Here's, and I'm glad you are upset. It's okay to be upset. Here's the difference between, in my opinion, what he did and what Donald Sterling did. He just mouthing off. He wants some attention. He blowing off some steam. He didn't go into any details and say anything, the weight or magnitude of what Donald Sterling said. He's not going to do that because he knows, that there will be, he will be held accountable for his actions. So he said just enough to rub people the wrong way, piss them off, and to be able to get away with it. But you see, he said so much already, and he's still talking, that one day he'll say just enough.
Oh yeah.
So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just as
no,
I say. I'm upset with our people that we allow him to get away with what he does, but we didn't want to attack Mr. Sterling.
Well, I just gave you my take.
There's a difference in that both of them are employing people. Both of them have some type of say-so in regards to the advancement of people's careers and livelihoods. And this knuckle dragger, he basically getting away with it because of our punkness. But Mr. Sterling, I use that word Mr. loosely, please, all out there to understand. He gets raked over the coals. For what? I just don't understand the double standard sometimes, and I think it's really unfair to us as a people that we show our episodicness every now and then, and we pick and choose what incidents offend us as a people, when both incidents was offensive to us as a people.
Okay, but, so let me put this out there before I wrap you up. Tell the world, people are listening via the World Wide Web as well as at 90.3 FM on the radio throughout the tri-state area, depending on where you are. Tell them, what would you like to happen to, who was it, Chris Russo? Is that what you said? Mike and Mike? Who was it? Tell me again.
No. Chris Mad Dog.
Chris Mad, what would you like?
A suited name for a dog.
Okay.
Mad Dog.
Tell us what you would like to see happen.
I would like
get the ball rolling.
Protest him just as much as they protest Mr. Sterling. I mean, what's the difference? That's what I would like to know.
Okay, and remind us, like, why? Once again, come on. We know exactly what Donald Sterling said. Can I Google what Mad Dog said and play it on YouTube? When did he say it? I'll see if I can find it.
He just basically said that black radio hosts were not capable of leading and doing a nationally syndicated sports show. That's all.
Okay.
That's basically
you know how you said
we wasn't good
enough. You know how you said now, that's all. That's how most black people say. That's all.
Art Rush Jr., who basically is one of the greatest radio hosts there ever was.
Okay.
And ever will be. But you know, I gotta run.
All right.
And Sinte, please call in and address this matter if you listen to my great brothers.
All right.
Talk to you later, Steph.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. I got my phones, man. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. There will come a moment where, he'll get, he'll go too far. Meaning Chris Mad Dog. I think that's who Jay was talking about. Here we go. Uh-oh, hold on. Gotta get it right. I gotta get it right for you because I know you're calling me and I gotta get it right. Oh, okay. 212-650-6903. Hi, caller. Welcome to WHCR. You are?
Yeah, I'm the controversial man. How y'all?
Hey. What's going on?
Everything's going on. I'm just in my own corner of the universe, doing my thing.
What you want to talk about?
I want, first of all, after giving all praises to the creator of all the heavens and earth and all that's in between, I like to say Jay for mayor. Because at one time I thought he was just wanting to vent and long-winded, but he's very articulate and really detailing some of the real issues that's going on. And he knows how to tie it in from politics to sports and so forth and so on. And he's very interesting. He don't let them off the hook. Many times we do this. Because we want to turn the page. Sure. Martin Luther King and those that came before him, and they wanted to turn the page. Everybody, they wanted to turn the page. They wanted to be, this inclusive of Americanism and stuff like that. But it's always this here, this ugly reality, somebody else's idea of reality that seemed to hold sway, and just imposing their whole perverted, thing on people's, thinking quarters. Anyway, so I just wanted to, and see, I have an unorthodox version of that whole thing with the owner. Where I look at it ironically, whereas the female, they call her a mistress, whatever, like this here, by her interrogating them, it brings out certain aspects of it, whereas it relieves him and her of the guilt and shame, of what they was really going through. And you hear it in his tone when he said, that he thinks they both made a mistake. And he talked about the pressures of, the racism that's really a big giant monster that's even bigger than him and all his billions, And I just observed that from another angle and said, maybe this is a way of, and if you notice, a lot of people vented from various backgrounds and races, and they really everybody want to get that monkey off their back. That they want to turn the page, So, like I say, Jay, he's right on time. and very articulate on maintaining, the matter and not letting people off the hook when they, get really, outlandishly sloppy and, presenting us, because, we contributed so much and we may have took a lot for, our own, contributions, for granted. But right now, some things is coming to remind us, man, that, we are somebody, And so I just want to, share that. As far as Mayweather's concerned, well, it speaks for itself. I think maybe people can just sit back and, instead of, criticizing him so much, just maybe it might be a time to learn from him. Get out some notes, get out the pads and the notes and take some notes from what he's doing. He might have just a whole new, phase to what the art of fisticuffs is really about. It's not about going there and getting hurt and damaged and just ending the career in 5 years. He's bringing out something else. I don't know. And he's weathered that storm. And this challenge here may have brought something else out of him that, shows that he do have some more dimension into the fight game. So that's about that.
Thank you, Brother Hyatt. It's good to talk to you.
You know the runnings.
Peace. All right, y'all. Let me see what I can do to free up the lines. I want you to call me. Call me. 212 650 6903. As always, this conversation is just as much a part of yours as ours. Roots is up next. I'm going to try to do a little housekeeping before I read this press release that they gave us. Just to sort of sum up Commissioner Adam Silver's comments at Wednesday's press conference on how the league would respond to former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, Donald Sterling.
The Educational Theater Program at the City College of New York proudly presents the 2014 Family Arts Day, Saturday, May 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Family Arts Day offers free fun for everyone. There will be theater games, face painting, puppets, sing-alongs, clowns and mask making, live performances, and much more. That's Family Arts Day, Saturday, May 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., held at Aaron Davis Hall on the campus of the City College of New York at 135th Street and Convent Avenue. For a full schedule of events and directions, visit www.ccuny.edu/edtheater.
Enjoy a red-hot night of music at the world-famous Apollo Theater as Arturo O'Farrill and the Afro-Latin Jazz Orchestra reimagine Chico O'Farrill's Afro-Cuban Jazz Suite in the world premiere of Afro-Latin Jazz Suite. This Harlem Jazz Shrines event will be held on Saturday, May 10th at 8 p.m., featuring performances by Cafe, Freddie Huevito Labaton, Rudras Mahantha, DJ Chilo, Logic, and a special tribute to Randy Weston. That's Afro-Latin Jazz Suite on Saturday, May 10th at 8 p.m. at the world-famous Apollo Theater. For tickets and more information, visit www.apollotheater.org.
The first Islamic Film Festival occurs May 3rd through May 4th at the Malcolm X Betty Shabazz Center, 3940 Broadway near 165th Street in Manhattan. For information, 917-946-8903, 917-946-8903. The film festival features Al Ghazali, The Trials of Muhammad Ali, Return to Gorée, and 8 Centuries of Islam in America. May 3rd through May 4th. Information 917-946-8903, presented by the Mosque of Islamic Brotherhood Communications Department.
What? 417. Let me see what I can do with these next few minutes, because as I said to you before, Roots is up next. A quick reminder, I heard Brother Leroy telling you all that Richard Williams will be here in the city doing a book signing Wednesday up, I believe, at the bookstore on 82nd, might be a Barnes & Noble's up there, 82nd and Broadway. I actually tried to catch Robin Roberts signing her book at the Barnes & Noble's, I think on 5th and 45th this past week or so. And so, it's a lot going on out there. People are everywhere doing some of everything. Mariano Rivera, I think, is also holding a book signing at the same Barnes & Noble's on 5th and 45th that Robin Roberts held hers about a week or so ago. This coming week, might even be tomorrow. So, and then Richard Williams once again, Serena and Venus Williams' dad, will be in the city on Wednesday at 82nd Street and Broadway, I believe, holding a book signing there as well. I was called to jury duty a couple of Fridays ago, and of course I tried to get out of it for the second time, and they wouldn't have it, they wouldn't hear of it, and I listened. You know why I listened? Because the hard facts, the hard, cold facts, it's $1,000 fine and 30 days in jail. What? Okay, let's just remind people of some of what Adam Silver had to say as we're winding down. Dallas and San Antonio are underway. Game 1 between Brooklyn and Miami, I believe, is Tuesday. Please check, the NBA's website for the complete schedule. OKC and the Clippers are going to get it going this week, as well as Chicago and Indiana and, did I say Chicago? Washington and Indiana. Portland will play the winner of Spurs, Mavs, and I think that's gonna about do it. Yeah, it's only 4 teams left in each conference. NBA news. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver bans Donald Sterling for life. When you're sitting in these press conferences, you're getting your thoughts together, you're trying to find a good seat. You might even get a chance to ask a question. Just don't know how it's going to pan out. And when they begin to speak, you're listening for all sorts of things. And the style of this press conference was Adam Silver came in and he spoke to us before he allowed us to speak to him, meaning he gave us the NBA's response, and then he took questions. And the first thing he got to, was the fact that it was Donald Sterling's voice. And I was sitting there with my eyes closed. It was like build up, like drama. One word after another word made it more, dramatic, the moment. And I'm like, wow. And when he said it was like, whew. So here we go. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver bans Donald Sterling for life. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has banned Donald Sterling for life from any association with the Clippers or the NBA. It was announced today, and this is from Wednesday, at a press conference in Manhattan, April 29th. And on the top, I wrote a historical moment. That's just what I wrote as I was sitting there. Commissioner Silver has also fined Mr. Sterling $2.5 million, the maximum amount allowed under the NBA Constitution. The fine money will be donated to organizations dedicated to anti-discrimination and tolerance efforts that will be jointly selected by the NBA and the Players Association. As part of the lifetime ban, Mr. Sterling may not attend any NBA games or practices, be present at any Clippers office or facility, or participate in any business or player personnel decisions involving the team. He will also be barred from attending NBA Board of Governors meetings and participating in any other league activity. Commissioner Sterling, you heard that, right? Never know. Commissioner Silver also announced that he will urge the Board of Governors to exercise its authority to force a sale of the team. He needs 3/4 of a vote, just so you'll know, to do that. And he's, for sure, as he answered one of our questions, without a doubt, he believes he's going to get it. We'll see. The discipline issued today is based on the commissioner's conclusion that Mr. Sterling violated league rules through his expressions of offensive and hurtful views, the impact of which has been widely felt throughout the league. A transcript, of course, is what I told you that I have that I just didn't get to today, of Commissioner Silver's press conference will be issued this afternoon. Oh, and posted on the NBA's media website. I'm not sure if you need a password to access that, since it is on the media website. But for those of us who attended, they sent it directly to us and told us to make sure we had given them our email addresses, as they did ask us when we came in to sign our names and our email addresses. You know, people say a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Wow. And some of the most hurtful are the ones you think actually like you. So although I love it when you guys call and drop things, because I didn't know what Chris the Mad Dog had said. People say a lot of things. And I don't think it's a matter of letting anybody get away with anything. I think it's, you gotta know what to chase and what not to chase. Just the fact that a caller called here is an action in itself. So it's not like it's not known. It's not like it's not out there. And as I said before, when people don't like you, eventually they put their foot in their mouth, like completely, not just the toes, but the whole, like you can't even see the ankle after a while. That's when you go after them. That's when you know you have more than enough to hold them accountable. Because people say mean things, inappropriate things, unprofessional things all the time. Stuff that'll turn your stomach. Some of them are your friends, whether you like it or not, or you think are your friends. Some of them look like you, whether you like it or not. You can't chase down every word that comes out of somebody's mouth. And if you want to, be my guest, but make sure you have the legs to do it. But when they put eventually their whole foot in their mouth, it's like that Kentucky Derby race yesterday. It's fast and it's smooth. And there are no ifs, no ands, and no buts about it. Now I got to go, but we can continue this conversation next Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry. Mother's Day is next Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, or anybody that has mothered in addition to biological moms. And to the hero, the heroine who gave birth to me. You know exactly who you are. I love you. There's no way it could have happened without you. You are and will always be a hero to me.